If he gets excited, it falls to the ground, and he gets a chance to calm down, and I start over. All right. Today is a pretty exciting new day for Freedom, the Mustang. My name is Don Jessup. This is Freedom, and we're going to talk about getting that first saddling experience. Really, we're going to use a bareback pad. We want to expose him incrementally to the saddle so that it's not just something we chuck on there and he has this horrible experience. We're going to start with something anybody can do at home is just a long rope. In fact, you could throw away that rope and use this rope. And your goal is just to be able to toss that rope over his back without him moving his feet. That's your first goal. And he's got to where he can pass that goal. I'll go to the other side, toss it over here like this. And he moved his feet just a little bit, but it's all within reason. I think, okay, we're getting somewhere. The second goal, I'm going to move him just a bit so you can see this, is to be able to toss that rope over. Whoa! I changed position. That's all it took. That's all it takes when you have a really sensitive horse. So I want you to keep a note of that. I could do it from back there, but I couldn't do it up next to his back. So I just bring him in. I say, you're a little more fresh today. It's a hot day yesterday and a cold day today. So we got different emotions coming out of the horse. That's natural. I'm going to put him back where I started. Put him back in that little space that we started in, and we'll go again. Aha! He's still bothered by it, so I'm going to send him back around. Say, please stay here. It's more important that he learns how to stand still than he learns how to handle the rope being tossed. So I'm using this rope toss as a lesson to help him stand still, as well as teach him confidence, because I can do approach and retreat with the rope, go a little slower for him, but what's most important is he learns how to stand still. So I need to be able to toss that rope over and he doesn't get too bothered by it. Otherwise, I know he's going to have a really tough time with the bareback pad. So we're starting to accomplish step one again. Just stand still for the rope. I'm going to come across to this side, pet him, say thank you for standing still, and toss that rope over like that. Because that saddle, that big heavy saddle one day is going to come over and hug him. And I don't want him to be afraid of that motion. My hand coming up in the air, that stirrup flying over the horse's back, those cinches flying over the horse's back. And I'll do this until I don't get any more flinching muscles or worried expressions from him. We'll check he's not in la-la land. Just ask for him to put his head to the side or down a bit. And he says, yeah, I'm responsive. Great. Still here with me. Obviously, we've got to bond with him, connect with him. He's got to know that we care about him. That's a priority. I'm rubbing under his tail to test his tightness level. He's starting to lift his tail. That's good. Now, once I get past that step one, tossing the rope over, I'm actually going to throw the rope over to step two, to where I catch it on the other side like this. Come on, baby. Catch it on the other side. And I can actually I'm trying to stand out of the way so you can see this. I'm actually going to pull up and pull down with my other hand at the same time and create a cinching effect. I want to see how he handles, for the first time in his life, being squeezed in the same way that a cinch would squeeze him. So I'm going to work with him here. If he moves, I'm going to say, please move back. Didn't ask you to move, although I understand why you did. There's a double lesson here. Throw the rope over. I didn't ask you to move. I understand why you did, but there's 2 lessons we're learning here. Number 1, stand still. Number 2, handle the rope. Standing still is more important. So, I'm going to change to this position just so you can see it. I'm squeezing that rope and pulling down on the rope on the other side. And I'm just testing his level of comfort or discomfort related to that. Squeezing, this is where the back cinch would go on a Western saddle. Squeezing there, squeezing up by his shoulder. I might even come way back and squeeze back by his really sensitive areas, just a test. And he's starting to pass this test. Good. A little bit of drifting's okay. You get way out of place, we're going to play that game again. Come over the other side. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. See, if I teach him to stand still as a priority, I'm a lot safer playing this game. I'm not chasing him around, trying to get him used to this squeezing game. I'm not trying to follow him as he's trying to figure it out. I just say, go back, let's start over. It's easier that way. And he gets it. I say, fantastic, we're getting somewhere now. So I'm going to abandon that single rope. And if you feel qualified for this, you get to start to play with a second rope. Come on up here, take a look at this rope. Yeah, that's what everything looks new to you. Come back over here where we were. Back over here. This is where we're starting. Got to learn that lesson too. Thank you. Here's the rope. Check it out. Just a rope. It makes noises. I pick it up. See, when I'm handling my saddle, he's got to get used to this kind of thing. So I love the extra rope. The extra rope is a simulated saddle. That's all it is. It's a lot safer than a saddle because I can just let go at any time and I'm not worried about it falling on the ground. But I've got to be able to rub him all over with my extra rope. He's got to be able to carry it. Just like this. He's got to be able to sit up there. He's got to be able to stand there like that. If I can't do that, I can't do anything. But since I passed that first step, now what I'm going to do is use the second rope in the same way I used the first rope. I throw the ring underneath. If you don't have a ring, you can tie a knot, give yourself a loop. But I'm going to throw that ring underneath so that when I let the pressure off, you'll see what happens. That ring will drop. The gravity will help me make a release for the horse doing a good job. And what I mean by good job is the horse, he gets quiet. He gets calm. So I'm going to take all my excess rope through that ring. And now I have myself a little lasso. I can squeeze and I can release. I can squeeze and release. And if I do that with the ring on top, when I squeeze, it won't release properly. That gravity will pull that ring down the rope and I have a good release. And I can teach the horse. I can hold while he's excited and release when he's less excited. And in that sense, I can teach and reward the right emotion. He gets rewarded by that release. So I stand next to him, pull, release, slide it back a little bit, pull, release, slide it forward a bit, pull, and release. Now, you might think we're ready for that saddle because he's handling the cinch. Not quite, because what a horse needs is to be able to handle the cinch at a standstill and while in motion. So I'm going to actually use this secondary rope here, to drive him forward into motion, just like I would with a flag or a stick. I'm driving him forward into motion. And he's going to carry this rope on his belly in a circle around me. And if I really feel like it's going badly, I can just drop that and hang onto his head and get his attention back. That's my safety mechanism. Here we go, back on the circle. Drive him out. Now he's carrying it. And in a second, I'm going to cinch up as he's walking. He's just carrying it loosely. And right here, I'm going to lift and pull. And as he calms down and settles into it, I'm going to release it and reward him for it. Really simple process. If he gets excited and ramped up and he bucks and rears, I'm just going to hold. I've got a long rope to hold. I have 2 long ropes. I can go with him for quite a ways. And then when he settles down, he comes down a gate, or he breathes really well, or he just settles into that pressure, then I get to release it as a reward for saying thank you for settling into that cinch-like pressure. Here we go again. Circle. Pulling up on the cinch. He's feeling that cinch around his belly. And he has a choice to make. Should I get excited or should I calm down? And I rewarded him for calming down. Really, really, really simple process. It could go wrong, like anything. It's a horse. But I know the mechanics. So now I slide this back a little bit further. We're going to simulate the back cinch. I'm going to drive him onto the circle. He's carrying it nicely. Looks okay. I'm going to lift on that cinch. Now look at this. He's getting excited. I'm not pulling tightly. I don't need to make him excited. What I need to do is make him calm. So I just lift, hold real lightly. He decides to calm down. I didn't ask him to calm down. He decided to calm down, and I drop it. I don't want to pinch down and hold and make a cowboy race out of it. There's no value in that. You can actually teach a horse to buck and be a bronc if you're not careful. So you send him out on the circle. I'm going to lift up on that. He doesn't think much of it. He even comes back down to a halt. And I release. And he gets a reward for it. It's fantastic. See? Did a good job. See, this is the biggest problem with saddles, is they have a cinch. The second biggest problem is the visual aspect of the saddle. They make visual sensations for the horse. So you see me with the rope. Throw it around. Pick it up on the other side. Try to make visual simulations with it as well as. But what we've got here, I'm actually going to work on the other side. That's why I threw it over there. Start it over. I want my ring to be on the bottom. Let's see if I did this right. Yep, my ring is on the bottom, so when I let go, it falls and gives me a release. Let's test it out at the standstill. Hold, release, hold, release. Fantastic. Let's send him out onto a circle. Drive just like I would with a flag. Put a little bit of slack in that lead rope. Drive him out onto that circle. First, he just has to carry it. That's it. Help him find the circle. He's kind of looking at me. There we go. Just help him find the circle. It's easier to teach a horse how to circle before you do this. So you're seeing this one step ahead of the game here. We'll teach him how to walk. He's kind of found the circle here. I'm going to pull up on that. He calms down. He gets a reward. And you'll notice my release, it's not sudden. I don't throw that rope down there. I want him to feel me in a calm state as well. So when I give him a release, it's a relaxed feeling coming from me. I'm not just throwing it away. I don't want it to be sudden and shock him into thinking that he did something right or wrong. I want it to be smooth. I want to be smooth for him. So I send him out onto that circle again. Slowly but incrementally drive him out. There you go. Find that circle. Uh-oh, he's going the wrong way. Shorten up on my lead rope. Send him out the other way. There we go. Find that circle. And then pull up. See if he calms down. And release. Good job. Good work. Now we're going to try the back cinch. Drive him up. Notice I do not stand close to him for this. For obvious reasons, I don't want him to kick at me. We've set him up, prepared him for success, but that doesn't mean he won't act like a horse. He's carried it for a few steps. I'm going to pull up on that. Really lightly. Let's see what kind of decision he makes. He decides to calm down. I give him that big reward. Really, really, really simple process. And day after day, I'll actually start to squeeze just a little bit tighter because the saddle is just a little bit tighter. If he moves and that back cinch grabs him, that's just a little bit tighter. But I don't ever have to cut him in half. It's a really, really easy, pleasant experience for him all the way through. So that's my rope work. If he passes that rope work, I get to go to the next stage. And that's the bareback pad. Now, contrary to what a lot of other trainers do, doesn't mean they're wrong and I'm right. Doesn't mean that I'm right or they're right and I'm wrong. It's just different. It's just my style, and I think it's helpful for the horse. You can try it out for yourself. I want him to get used to this thing visually. I want him to get used to the cinch around his belly. So I'm teaching him to follow me. But I'm also not going to cinch this up right away. I'm going to place it on his back when he's ready. And then I'm going to let him carry it without the cinch. This thing can just fall off, slide off right onto the ground. And his reaction to this thing sliding off onto the ground is a good indicator to how well prepared he is for actually carrying a real saddle. Or, more importantly, a person. Because the person's balance is not always perfect. And if you slide to the side accidentally, does your horse get a little excited? And have you taken the time, can you take the time to teach your horse not to get excited when something slides off? I mean, if you're roping a horse or dragging something. So he learns to stand for it, just like he learned to stand for the rope. That's important. And what we're going to do, we're going to have him carry it, just like we had him carry the rope. And look at this, if he gets excited, it falls to the ground, and he gets a chance to calm down, and I start over. Now, some people think that because this fell off, he got rewarded for getting rid of the saddle pad. That's a possibility. It'd be silly to deny it. But the mere fact that we're going to go again and again and again and again and again and again will prove to him that he doesn't get rewarded for getting rid of the saddle pad. It keeps coming. Instead, he gets a chance to really relax with the saddle pad. There we go. And we'll do this until that event happens. He gets a chance to relax. So on we go again. Just like that. We're going to slide to this other side here. And we're going to take it off. Just like that. And it's going to go back on just like that. And he's going to carry it again. Imagine if your cinch wasn't done up all the way. And the pad or the saddle went underneath that horse's belly. How traumatic that would be compared to that thing just falling off and sliding to the ground and me starting over. He can learn to accept things on his back. You can put a plastic tarp up on there or any old saddle blanket that you have up on there, and he can learn to have things up on his back. And even in weird places, watch this. Put that up on his butt there. What do you think of things that are weird? Things that don't make sense? Can you handle it? Or do you just spook and try to get rid of it? The fact that he can handle that tells me I've got a smarter horse than I did 5 minutes ago. And I don't want to miss that step. I could have just cinched it up and tested him out. Maybe bucked him out a little bit. But I want to know, what does he do? What happens if this pad, what happens if that happens? See that big jump that he gave? That's not a great thing to have happen in real life. You know that most people, when they're working with most horse accidents, are not because the horse bucked. It's because the horse spooked. The rider went to the side like this, and that spooked the horse even more. And the rider's left on the ground with the horse bucking off into the distance. This way, he can learn that this is just an obstacle. This is not something that's meant to spook him. It can sit on him. It can drop to the ground. And it's okay. And it can jump back up there. And he can carry it. And it's okay. Yeah. It can come off to the side like this. It can drop to the ground, and look at him. This is the kind of reaction you want. It's okay for him to look at it, but he doesn't need to sidestep and jump out of the way. Imagine being this saddle pad. Imagine being the first person on his back. And for some weird reason, as you were climbing up that mounting block, it shifted and you didn't quite get your foot in the stirrup right, and you slipped. And your horse freaked out about that. That would not be a good ending. So all this training here is training him for the saddle. We did rope work. We did cinch work. We did visual work. He's starting to figure out that that's just a noise that happens. And he's just starting to figure out that this is all okay. So, is he perfect? No. Day by day, we're going to do a little more. He's going to get better and better. It's a pretty exciting future we have together, huh, Freedom? I'm going to get my cinch sort of lined up here for you. Tighten things up a bit. All right. Oh, good boy. Good boy. He's learned that first lesson pretty good. He's standing still. Let me walk around him. He's letting me work with that rope. Pull it up. This is just like the rope. He's good with that visual aspect, so I feel like, okay, it's time for that next step. The step where we actually tighten things down. He's got to be okay with that. Now I can loosen it up. Now I can tighten it down. And what if, in the middle of this, he said, I can't handle this, and he stepped to the side? Well, guess what? I've already trained him to handle this thing falling off him. So we're not in that bad a shape. I don't want to say that nothing could go wrong. Of course things could go wrong. He's a horse. But if I set it up right, things go pretty mild most days. Tighten that up a little bit, loosen it up again, tighten it up again, just like I did with the rope. Find a spot where I feel like if he does get excited, it's not going to slip too much. There we go. There we go. And for the first time in his career with humans, he's actually cinched up carrying a bareback pad. Let's see how he does with his first few steps. And look at you, what a pro. So what do? Take it off. All this work I'm doing with my hands, that's all good for him. And he had his very, very, very first saddling experience. And then we'll just do that over and over and over until he's so good about the bareback pad that I think it's time to throw that saddle on there. And then he's so good with the saddle, I think it's time to throw me up there. It's our second time out here. Let's see how you go. Not too bad, huh? See, he has that memory already inside him that says, when I feel tightness, I should breathe and I should relax. And then I get a reward. Now, he doesn't get the reward. I can't release this at this point, but he does have that memory to back him up. And he actually gives himself a sense of confidence. I like that. We're going to do one last thing tonight, and that's we're going to ask him to circle. We're going to lead him out, drive him out with our rope, just like we did with the other rope. Ask him to move out, carry that thing for a nice walk. It's okay if he trots too. And then I take the pressure off, and he should feel me take that pressure off like he did there, and feel good about that. We'll try the other way. Let him lick and chew for a second there. Try this way. Drive him out there. Drive him out with that rope. Come on out, brother. There you go. He doesn't have to trot. He just needs to get out of my space a little there. It's okay if you trot. Thanks for getting out of my space. That's the main thing. And look at that, licking and chewing and calm and relaxed. He's checking in, willing to say hi, willing to let me pet him, touch him anywhere. He's not holding any resistance. I can come back here, touch him back here. He's not hiding anything. Well, he is a little clamped on that tail right now, so that's an indication that there's some signs of tension. I help him loosen that tail up just a bit. Say, it's okay, man, you can let me in. Rub-a-dub. That's good. Just let me in just a little bit. And that's it. That is our very first ever saddling experience. No drama. That's the way it should be. Doesn't always work out that well, but if your preparatory work is solid, your rope, your standstill training, then he should get pretty well accustomed to about anything else that you do with him. That's first saddling. I'm Don Jessup. I can't wait to see you next time. Thanks for watching.